Hi guys, we're back and we are continuing with part 2 of restoring this Louis Vuitton Speedy that I picked up pre-loved. It's a 30, size 30, and I, in the previous video, showed you how to clean it using warm water and this product, which is called green wire. It's the only thing I'll use on my Louis Vuitton bags to clean them. And then right now we are about to start with the apple leather care. I'm using the conditioner, not the cleaner. Now I know there are people that use Loving My Bags as well. I have ordered some of that, but I have not used it yet because I've been content with the Apple Guard. Now, the one thing about the Apple Guard is it does have a little bit of a bitter, sour smell to it, but that goes away when it dries. And so the biggest piece I noticed, all of this bag was actually in pretty good condition, much cleaner than what I thought it was. I take a makeup wedge, just one of those little triangular sponges, and I put a little bit of this on here, which I already did. And so I'm just going to very gently start to work it in to the leather. And you can already see, maybe, you can see some of the dirt that's coming off on it. But I just keep doing that, and eventually you're going to buff it. And I found, for me, that putting this cleaner on, or conditioner, I'm sorry, with the wedge is the best way to do it. It's the best absorption. It's clean. It's easy to work with. And so I just go over all the pieces of this beautiful Vachetta, and in some cases you may end up having to do multiple applications. I don't feel that this darkens the leather at all. It does initially when you're putting it on, but once you buff it, once it dries and you buff it, it certainly lightens. So we're just going to put this all over. The other thing I like about the wedge is you can't possibly be rough. It's just impossible. So if you were using terry cloth or something, you could end up maybe being a little too rough with this beautiful Vachetta. But in this case, it's really pretty impossible to do that. So I just get a little bit more here. I mean, I certainly don't douse it, but I put it on generously. And just kind of go over everything. Hit this too while we're over here. Get that. And like I said, you may have to, depending on how dirty everything is, you may have to go over it several times. Now sometimes I will use the green wire on the leather. This time it was just such a light staining that I just really didn't feel the need to, so I didn't. I'm going to put a little bit more, whoops, on this piece. Just let it dry and then we'll buff it. So this would be a good example. If this doesn't work, then I can go back over it with the green wire. Okay, so we'll just leave that. Now it will look a little bit dull as it starts to dry. I don't know if you can see this. Compared to the one that has not been treated. This one has not been treated. This is the one that we're working on right now. So I am going to set that to the side and let it dry while I show you. Notice I'm changing my gloves here. I don't like to contaminate any of the pieces I'm working on with any of the previous products I've been working on or working with, because they're very specific to that product. I'll set my leather care over here. What I wanted to show you here is my brass. So this lock and key, like I said, I got it pre-loved. This lock and key came with it. This is probably better to show it to you like this. So this is the original color, and this key was that color as well, but now it's nice and shiny. Isn't that amazing? And I did it with a homemade solution that is completely non-toxic, very inexpensive, and super easy to work with. And I'm going to show you how to do it. So I did the key first so that you could see what it ends up looking like. Set that off to the side. I like to use glass bowls and white rags. I don't know, I guess I can see the dirt that way, or I just think the glass makes everything very pure. So what I have here now, I pre-mixed this, although it would have been fun to do it live because it's fun. And what I used is just plain old white vinegar and baking soda. Now, if you remember having done this in school, it bubbles. So this would be a fun project for the kids to help you with. And I mix it into a paste. So eventually it stops bubbling. And I mix it into a paste. Mine's a little runny, but kind of like maybe the consistency of runny toothpaste, I guess. I don't really think it matters. It's just, you just kind of mix it up. So you end up using a fair amount of baking soda. And then what I did is, I think I need another bowl here. I may have to use this one that my cotton is in. Let's just see what happens. I am going to, well, just do it like this because the inside's pretty clean. Okay, so all I do, make sure you can see this here. All I do is I take some of it and I just sort of put it on there. And this is, again, this is baking soda and vinegar, white vinegar. So the acid will, it's already starting to work. I can see it right there on the padlock part, on the hook part. Oh, this is going to be pretty. And you just sort of let it sit a little bit. Just kind of keep going over it. And then I take a baby toothbrush, very soft, softest you can get, and I just go over it, just work all that in there. It's not going to scratch it. It's going to keep it nice and gentle. Just keep going over it and over it and over it. This is so pretty. It's really cleaning up nicely. Now, the same is true with this technique as it is with the leather conditioner, that you may have to do several, you may have to do it several times. So now what I'm going to do is take this little white bowl, I'm putting my key ring or my lock in it, and now I am going to put just some lemon juice in there. Could use a lemon. And this will also, you can probably hear it fizzing. Put some of the vinegar mixture in there and let it just sort of soak in there for a little bit. Can you hear it? Let me show you. Can you see it bubbling? So I'm just letting, this is just the vinegar and baking soda solution sitting in some lemon juice. Get all those, oh, it smells yummy too. Get all those nooks and crannies. And now I'm just scrubbing it again. And I'll put it back in here. It's starting to clean up quite nicely. And I'm almost at my 10-minute mark. So we may have to come back. All right, I'm going to let that sit in the lemon a little bit longer, and we will be back in just a moment to finish up with part 3 of our Louis Vuitton Speedy 30 restoration.